Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz, January 15, 2017 at 11:28 p.m. Birmingham. Topic is the UN meeting that's going on right now. It's still underway. It began on the 15th, and although we're in the 15th now, 15th has passed, and they're in the 16th. Anyway, the meeting's continuing, and as of for now, seems like no one in the UN, no one, has decided to back up on what they voted for, or rather against. And so that, nothing out of KERRY, except KERRY did make a small statement. It may have to be left to the 20th. That's all he said. Nothing more. I guess he may have thought about that judgment. Trump talks about the pharmaceutical companies, about him getting the best deal for us. Let me tell you quickly what he can actually really do on that. Back in 1932, Dr. Royal Rife, look that up, videos, look it up and see for your eyes. Dr. Royal Rife built his own microscope filled with glycerin and had lighting in it, had ways to film what was taking place under the slides, between the slides. It was a first-class thing back then. He built this. They didn't make anything like that because he knew that a certain sound would kill cancer. And he found it, and it did. It killed cancer. He took 12 terminally ill people out of a hospital, I believe it was in Sacramento, down in the valley, and they're all in a wing to die. He took them. 9 of them went home in 6 weeks, completely healed, and the other 3 left 2 and 3 weeks later, healed. None of them died of cancer. Then the world or the country gets hit with this. There's a man in California that has a cure for cancer. Not only did he try it on these 12 men, he tried it umpteen times in different types of cancer and killed it all using a frequency. And by going to that Royal Rife videos, you can see that cancer cells under that slide will die within 1 second of hearing that frequency. Even people like L.A. Marzulli and his men, they're writing these books in Peru and Chile about how in the world they move these 2,000-ton blocks and 200-ton blocks up the valley for 6,000 feet, 15 miles away. Well, maybe by a frequency, same way this little skinny 120-pound guy built the Coral Castle in Coral Gables, Florida, by himself, no heavy equipment, by frequency. Anyway, they found this to be credible. It was in all the papers, 50 papers throughout this country. Everybody crying out, we have a cure for cancer. Then if it wasn't J.P. Morgan, it was one of his men that stepped up and said, now look, all you doctors and all you pharmaceutical companies gathered here today, tomorrow you're going to be broke. You will be without a job. You are doing away with your profession, and you'll make no more money. They thought about it a whole 2 minutes. The next day, they treated the paper as if it made a huge error, that it really didn't happen. They discredited Dr. Royal Rife, and it went away. They even burned his house and his equipment. But he had a second set. He's not crazy. He's not stupid. He had a completely second set somewhere else. Just like Stan Myers took water and drove from California to New York on 21 gallons of water. They killed him. They stole his equipment. But he still had to sit somewhere else. It's HHO generator is what that's called. Pharmaceutical companies. Mexico, you go buy your 30 Ambien today for $7 or $8, or let your insurance buy it for you for $78. And I know that to be a fact. Don't ask me how. And just like they discredited what happened in Roswell. One day the world was talking about UFOs. The next day, oh no, it's just a balloon. And then the wall in Mexico. The president still streaming out today in the papers and on Yahoo News. I'm not paying for that wall. Well, he doesn't really have to pay for it out of his pocket, nor does the country have to pay for it. But when we have tens of thousands of jobs in Mexico because they hire people at $2 an hour or $3 an hour, then Ford moves, General Motors moves. In fact, it was our country that sent General Motors there. We bailed them out. We'll do with them what we want. It's government motors now. Don't you know that? So when they come back across the border with Trump, they'll be paying a tariff. It'll be steep. And that won't make the price of the car go up. It'll just drop the price that they make it go down. And they make a lot of profit on sending that stuff back here. And another thing, the Border Patrol, the guys that work their butt off every day, 24/7, for a 2,000, 1,800 mile border, however long it was, capturing, taking them in, and then somebody ships them across all in one day. So their work did nothing. But every day, hundreds of millions of dollars every day, every month, hundreds of millions of dollars come across these borders. Usually they're hidden in cars or in tractor trailers, even in tires. And they already capture enough of that money that they can get a heck of a start on building walls. That alone, in 5 years, would probably build these walls. But the tariff will cut that time in half. So take that money recovered, which is hundreds of millions of dollars a year, or maybe even more, along with the tariffs, that wall will get built. And Mexico is paying for it. I don't care how anybody looks at it. It's just a fact, period. And again, there's one more thing I want to tell you. The lawmakers here was really riled up, a lot of them, and I'm surprised that they didn't speak up long before. But they had a vote to rebuke the UN anti-Israeli resolution, and it passed 342 to 80. So I wanted to pass that along to you. Jody Wolf Expoz.